There have been a proverb that dates back to at least the late 14th century in English and 13th century in German, which says for want of a nail, the kingdom was lost. There have been various versions of this proverb. For example, in 1758, Benjamin Franklin in his book The Way to Wealth wrote, "For want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For want of a shoe, the horse was lost. And for want of a horse, the rider was lost, being overtaken and slain by the enemy. All for want of care about a horseshoe nail," and many more versions of this proverb. But for us to notice, the only thing is, the horseshoe nail could be inconsequential or it could indirectly cause the loss of hope. Also, there is a short story by American writer Ray Bradburry, A Sound of Thunder. In the year 2055, the company Time Safari Inc. offers to travel back in time. A hunter named Eccles pays $10,000 to join hunting party to hunt a T-Rex which would die in minutes, and his death has been calculated to have minimal effects on future. When they arrive 66 million years back in time, the hunting guide Travis and his assistants as friends warn the hunters to minimizing the events that change before going back, since the smallest alterations back in very distant past could change history completely, and they had to stay on levitating paths of time machine to avoid disrupting the environment, else if they would be punished. But Eccles gets panicked when he sees T-Rex approaches and he stumbles from levitating paths to the forest. Then other two guides kill the T-Rex, and shortly afterward the falling tree. The tree was the natural reason of death of T-Rex. Then Travis threatens Eccles to leave behind unless he removes the bullets from dinosaur's body. He obeyed, but Travis was furious and threatens to shoot Eccles. On returning back to 2055, they notice subtle changes like people behave differently and speak differently. Eccles finds out that he has crushed a butterfly when he stumbled in forest back in past. That caused a rift in timeline and affected the nature of alternative present. So Eccles asks Travis to take him back in time to undo what he have done. But Travis has already explained that the time machine cannot return at any point in time that it has already visited. Then Travis raises his gun and pulls the trigger, and that is A Sound of Thunder. The idea of death of one butterfly could change the whole history and events. That's why metaphorically A Sound of Thunder is often credited as the origin of the butterfly effect, and it has been used as an example. But as scientific term, it was introduced by a meteorologist, Edward Norton Lorenz. Butterfly effect is a technically metaphorical term, but since when it has been used as scientific phenomenon, it has its own space way far from metaphorical terms in science. Actually, butterfly effect is a term for the sensitive dependence on initial conditions, and it is a phenomenon in chaos theory. In 1961, Edward Norton Lorenz, a meteorologist from MIT Cambridge, was running weather prediction data in computer with previously printed out data. He entered the initial conditions 0.506 from the data instead of 0.506127. He proceeded and went for a cup of coffee. When he come back and saw the result, the output was showing completely different weather scenario as compared from the first run. Lorenz suspected some computer problem, but before calling for a service, he checked the previous data. Then he found out that the problem is with the data he proceeded with, not with the computer. And on the basis of this event, Lorenz published a paper in 1963 called Deterministic Non-Periodic Flow. For this phenomena, after suggestion from the colleagues, he used poetic butterfly. But when Lorenz failed to provide a title for a talk in 139th meeting of the American Association for the Advancement of Science in 1972, Philip Merrillis came with the title "Does the Flap of a Butterfly's Wings in Brazil Sets of a Tornado in Texas?" And that's how butterfly effect came into existence. Although the butterfly flapping its wings cannot cause a storm, however, small events can act as a catalyst that influence the course of events. In all the scenarios of butterfly effect, the butterfly is just an interpretation and more poetic metaphorical term. And also in 1963, Lorenz, with the help of Alan Fetter, developed a simplified mathematical model for atmospheric convection. This model is a system of three simple differential equations known as Lorenz equations. When all the parameters put together in these equations, the solution came is known as Lorenz Attractor. And no one knows how on earth the Lorenz Attractor for exact values take a shape like a butterfly. The butterfly effect is, we can say, work as the domino effect in a certain ways, as final outputs are dependent on iterations of many reactions in a line of course of events. So this was all about how butterfly effect came into existence, and there is so much more to talk about butterfly effect as anyone could write a book on this. As it ends, if you want to explore many more stories like this, stay tuned with the Golden Conjunction.